To help you get ready for our Chapter 7 test, we really have another version of the test. It's the Chapter 7 review number 2. We actually did this review in class. This video and the 3 that follow are really geared to helping you on any of these problems. I'm going to walk through each and every one of them. For number 1, as we rewrite in a radical expression, please understand that a negative exponent always is meant that we need to take the reciprocal. This becomes 1 over 9 to the 3/4. So we know we're going to have 1 over this quantity. But turning this into a radical, the denominator will tell us we have the 4th root of 9, and then the numerator is the 3. So just as 3 is higher than 4 in this final answer, you can see the 3 being higher than 4 in the exponent as well. For number 2, in a very similar way, you can see 3 is higher than 5. Turning that into an exponent, we would get 3/5. So we have 1 over 2 to the 3/5, but of course we're going to raise that up. We took a reciprocal to get it down there, so that always is tied to a negative exponent. So we'll have 2 to the negative 3/5. For number 3, please be careful when you're taking even roots. When you're taking square roots or 4th roots, you're always going to have plus or minus. So I'm going to take the 2nd root, because I have a 2nd power, the square root, and I'll have x minus 3 is equal to, well, you could use a calculator if you need to. The square root of 4 is 2, but we'll have plus or minus 2. Please be careful. This really leads to 2 different equations. That plus minus means the right side could be a positive 2 or a negative 2. So I'm rewriting that right here. We could add a 3 to both sides to get x is equal to 5. Add a 3 to both sides here. Negative 2 plus 3 is going to be 1. So you do get 2 solutions. X is equal to 5 or x is equal to 1. Continuing on, taking a look at number 4, very, very, very similar process. We're going to take a 4th root on both sides, but again, we need to do a plus or a minus. We'll be taking the 4th root of that negative 16. But again, to help you, I think many students know that there's no solution because you can't have a negative inside of an even root. But we could press 4, math, come down here to number 5, so take that 4th root of negative 16. You'd have to hit the negative 16 here. The calculator itself tells you there's no real root, so there's no solution. Okay, continuing on, it's very tempting to think for number 5 that there's no solution either. However, you're going to notice we're going to take an odd root. We're going to take a 3rd root on both sides. Negatives are allowed inside of odd roots. And again, to help you, if you want to get the cube root to show up, you press math, come down here to number 4, plain and simply type negative 27. Cube root of negative 27 is just negative 3. There is no plus or minus, so we just get one answer. For number 6, breaking down this radical, a cube root of 18 and a cube root of 24. Look, let's do a little division tree for 18. 2 obviously divides into 18 9 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So, right here we have the cube root of 2 times 3 times 3. Likewise with 24, we can do a little division tree. Divide out of 2, you get 12. Divide out of 2 again, you get 6. Divide out of 2 one more time, you get a 3. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And right now, just want to point out, it's so much smarter to break these numbers down individually rather than multiply them together. You do bring them together now, though. You can say, look, instead of having 2 different cube roots, let's make them 1. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. We can put 4 2's all in a row. I have 1, 2, 3 3's. So what we're looking for in this problem is, in a cube root, we always look for 3 of the same number. And we do, in fact, get groups of 3. It means out comes a 2, out comes a 3. Please watch out. You've got the cube root, not a square root. It's the cube root of 2. But 2 times 3 is 6. So you've got a 6 on the outside. 6 times the cube root of 2. Continuing on for number 7. For number 7, you've got a square root over a square root. Tell you what, how about we just join them into 1? 72 divided by 6 would get you 12. And real quickly, we could do a little division tree for 12. We can say, well, 2 goes into 12 6 times, 2 goes into 6 3 times. So we have 2 times 2 times 3. Well, it's a second root or a square root. So I'm looking for 2 of the same number. Out comes a 2, and I've got that square root of 3. Final answer, 2 radical 3. I'm going to be making 4 videos, like I said at the beginning. We're going page by page by page. This will facilitate allowing students to go to a page that they need most help on. Also shortens the video some. Number 8, look, everything is raised to the -3/2 power, so 25 is bumped up there. Powers to powers get multiplied. So I'm going to take -4 times -3/2. Here's 2 times -3/2. And just to point out, with these powers getting multiplied, sometimes kids are a little reluctant to work out the fractions multiplied together. They have had difficulty. If you've had trouble in the past, let the calculator do it for you. You can see you'll have x to the 6th. Similarly, you can do your y component here, 2 times -3/2. And real quickly, you'll get -3. That being said, 25 to a negative power, you can flip that and really get 1 over 25 to the 3/2. And we can type in 25 just to the 3/2. Remember, this is going to be down below. This is going to be in a denominator because I already took that reciprocal. That's 125. So your final answer here, you're going to have 125 down below. But y to the -3rd, that's going to come down also. And you've got x to the 6th. If you want to keep the 1 out on top, you may. But just letting the calculator help you out is probably the best choice in the matter. Okay, we'll wrap up this video on the first 8 problems.